shit. This is bad.
Yeah, I didn't come here to play, nah, I came with a plan. I'm the star inside my circle, I'm the pentagram, whoa.
You really don't want me poking around in here. Hell. You need to stay present. I want you to feel everything.
Making sacrifices just to get the lamb, oh. I'm trying to see how fast that hurricane go. Eyes burning, no sleep, hustle is OD. Collecting heavy notes, call that keeping it low key. What I'm doing right now, I scheduled last month. You say you work hard, but you ain't do that much. You a has-been, buddy. Not me, I'm a has-done. I'ma walk out the booth and fly out for a fast one. 2010, sleeping on the floor, praying for favors. I used to envy Jesus cause of his paper. Collecting tax-free, that's why he's a saver. You catch the Holy Ghost when you profit from neighbors. When I go, I hope the man can forgive. Yeah, all the pocket watching I did. I mean, the man should understand. Goddamn, I'm one of his kids. Okay, that's enough of this shit. The 747 cruising over the snowpack. My shoulder tweaking from the shotgun blowback. Thinking how folks keep me out of the picture. Money's sweet right now, it ain't hard to be bitter. Last year we were strangers, now they need favors. They counting my money up. I'm feeling like your maker. Can't stand these motherfuckers, Norman Bates. We not the same, man, you feeling out of place. Take this shit to heart every time I up the stakes. I built this on my own, this ain't something you can erase, bitch.
El Paso Elsewhere is the video game that's brave enough to ask the question, what if Max Payne had real problems? What if Max Payne had to fight real demons and not just the ones in his head? And I gotta say, the answer to that question is a pretty fun time. In El Paso Elsewhere, you play as James Savage. Similar to our friend Mr. Payne, he is a certified self-medicator with a telehealth premium subscription. However, unlike Max Payne, whose world only metaphysically and metaphorically ended after his wife and child were unceremoniously removed from the server, James's entire world is actually slowly starting to collapse around him as his ex-girlfriend, who turned out to be a vampire, is summoning an eldritch being to eat the world he lives in. See, Max? Some of us have real problems, dude. Lighten the fuck up. James, also very similar to Max, is a very melancholy man, constantly waxing poetically about how sad the world is, how sad he is, how sad the enemies are, how sad the state of things is, oh, how dying good's easy, but living good's hard.
I tell myself it was always going to be a one-way trip. That's what love is. It's a trip between who you were and whatever the hell you become next. The pharmaceutical cocktail I put together vibrates at the back of my skull. 98% of me is screaming in pain or exultation, glad for an excuse to fall back away. What she's doing, it's torn a hole through the inner tube of reality. I'm here just in time to watch the air drain out.
Out of all the sad men that I think I've interacted with in any form of media, this man just might be the saddest one. But it's not all sad. As he continues to go further and further into the void, which we will talk about later, you see a lot of his other personality traits start to slide through. His sarcasm, his dry humor, his quick wit.
I'm gonna have to dive through this. Leap like a fucking circus animal. She's the ringmaster. I'll bet you $20 that this circus is running itself. I wonder if she knows.
And at certain points, he'll begin to describe maybe like the evolutionary reasons for why some enemies exist while he's being attacked. So, you know, maybe a little bit of autism slipping in too. Also, as you continue to explore the void, there seems to be the idea that is hinted that his entire personality is actually the personality of a detective from a radio show or TV show that he stole and is using on himself in order to deal with his fear because he really liked this radio show and or TV show as a child. Basically, what I'm trying to say is James is a lot of bit sad and maybe a little bit autistic. But enough about who James is. Let's get into the what and the why. What is James? Well, James is a monster hunter, more similar to Constantine or Blade versus like Helsing. In fact, he thinks Van Helsing is actually extremely overrated. He is a slick, smooth, black dude. And he's here to prevent the world from ending because he's the only one that can and may be one of the reasons why it's happening. This is because the person who is currently committing this ritual in order to end the world is actually his ex-girlfriend, Janet Drake, better known as Dracula, because Janet Drake is in fact a fucking vampire who, for some reason, all of a sudden has decided to say, fuck James, fuck love, fuck humanity, fuck the world. We're ending this bitch right now, and has made her way to a seemingly unimportant out the way motel in El Paso, Texas in order to start this ritual. So James, ruining his 6 months of sobriety, fills up on opioid and heads down to El Paso, Texas, driving maximum speed, damn near destroys his entire car, crashing on the highway because he's so fucking high off the pills. Eventually, he makes his way to the El Paso motel, and with nothing more than 2 pistols in his pockets, opioids in his blood, and alcohol past his blood-brain barrier, he makes his way into the elevator and into the void. The void is where the majority of our adventure takes place, and there's only one way in, one way out, and one way down, and that's with the elevator. Each floor, which is a term we will be using loosely, is simply a manifestation of the void as James continues his descent towards the center, hopefully where Dracula is. On each of these floors, he's going to have to do a series of objectives in order to actually make progress down. It'll either be saving people, solving puzzles, killing all the enemies, or some variation of all three at the same time. Now, each of these floors that James has to go onto is going to be filled with a litany of enemies, from zombie-like vampires to werewolves to biblically accurate angels and whatever these sad brides throwing spirit bombs at you are. I don't know what that is. And as he descends further and further into the void, the enemy variety, the enemy amount, and the intricacy of each of the levels increases. The difficulty goes up. He starts to lose more and more of his sanity, and this is because the void, once again, isn't an actual real physical space. It's manifesting itself as a physical space by stealing memories from both James, Dracula, and in order to give itself form. And then all these forms, as you get deeper and deeper into the void, start twisting and turning on each other. You end up going from a motel all the way to ancient pyramids in Egypt, all the way to European castles and churches, and then they just start mixing and coagulating. It gets real wicked real quick. The memories that the void is pulling from start to become more and more corrupted, leading James to even question, whose hell is he actually descending down? Is it his? Is it Dracula's? Or is it somebody else's? Now, it might seem like the cards are heavily stacked against James, which they are, but like he said before, he's the only one that can actually pull this off. In fact, he tells us, the player, directly that he's the only one that can pull this off. Yes, we, the player, the people playing this game, we are characters in this story. We are either a manifestation of his conscience, a manifestation of his delusions, or some combination of the two. But James does in fact talk to us directly a lot.
I need you to believe that I'm not going to open that trunk. That I'm going to get back into this car on the count of 3 and stop my ex before she destroys us all. I need to know that you believe, so I can too. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Well, my name is James Savage. Here's to believing.
While he doesn't necessarily believe that he will live, in fact, he actually believes he's going to die, which is why a part of him is slowly starting to enjoy this adventure. We know damn well, and he knows damn well, he's fully capable of doing what needs to be done. And if the gameplay hasn't shown you already, he is definitely more than capable of doing what needs to be done. Because like I said before, and like you've obviously seen at this point, this game is very much a Max Payne-like. James is super athletic, almost superhuman. He can slow down his perception of time by diving. He can dive through multiple things without being hurt at all. He can turn any piece of wood that he breaks into stakes, which allows him to not only kill a singular vampire, but a group of vampires if they're close enough to you. And just by stabbing one of them, just off of pure aura alone. He's a pristine marksman that can use a variety of weaponry, if you're actually good at aiming in the game, which I wasn't until I plugged my controller in because I'm really bad at keyboard and mouse. And on top of all of those skills I just named, this man's got a sixth sense for perks like none other. His ability to sniff out pills is ridiculous. It might be better than Max Payne's. It might be better than Max Payne. But in terms of mechanics, just, you know, break out of the spooky narrator guy. Was that what I was going for? I don't fucking know. The mechanics of this game are really well done. It controls super tight. All the fucking running and jumping feels good. The platforming feels good, which is weird. All the guns feel different and shoot different and have different forms of recoil that affect the screen differently and even affect where you aim differently. Different enemies are affected by different guns differently. So sometimes you'll notice that, like with a shotgun, these two types of enemies are more weak to it and die in like one shot, but then other types of enemies take multiple shots from the shotgun but not from the pistol or from the Uzi. It's really cool. The game doesn't tell you directly which enemy is weak to what. You just kind of have to figure it out as you're fighting, which is very fun. It leads to a lot of experimentation. They give you a lot of ammo for all the weapons, but it's also very easy to run out of ammo because you're constantly being hounded by everything on the screen. The pacing of the game is really good. There's a good balance of long levels, medium levels, shorter levels, and they mix up how they're distributed. Sometimes you'll be doing a chapter and that chapter will take 8 to 10 minutes, but then other times you'll be doing a chapter and it'll be done 90 seconds. I like it. It's very good. It keeps the variety up. It keeps you know, your attention locked in because you don't really know how long a level's gonna be until you get there, because each of these levels in the void, each of these floors are like maze based. So sometimes there's keys, sometimes there's puzzles, sometimes you're, you know, rescuing people from being sacrificed, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you think you're not going to be doing that, but then you do, and because the level opens up after you do the initial like key and door phase. It's very good. It's a very good game. Now that we know the who, the what, the when, not really the when, but time doesn't really exist in the void anyway, so that doesn't matter. And the how. I guess the only question that remains is why? Why is this happening? Why did Dracula decide to end the world? And that's really hard to talk about without spoiling everything, and the story is oh so good. It's oh so good. Why is really hard to talk about without spoiling shit, so I'm just gonna try my best to set the stage. I'm gonna talk around it, okay? While hitting some of the points without completely fucking up the entire story for y'all, because you should play this game. It's good. James doesn't really know why Dracula is doing any of this. He has two hypotheses. Either A, Dracula has just fully decided to say, fuck the world, we're destroying it for some reason. Or B, Dracula is being controlled and not necessarily actually doing this out of her own free will, because there's a C here in the void and also a D here in the void, pause, that I will not spoil, but let's just say there's more than one antagonist outside of Dracula that is also in the void fucking with him. And while most of the game that, you know, we actually like play and interact with is an action game, the story itself is both an action story and an investigation story. Again, it's a Max Payne like dude. He's basically Max Payne meets Constantine meets Blade, because he's black and kills vampires. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, isn't that just a very intricate way of saying that I don't know? And yes, it would be, because if I didn't say that intricately and set the stage for you, I'd just be spoiling the story. What do you think this is, a pyrocynical video? We're not summarizing the narrative here. I want you to play the game. I'm trying to put you on, and my computer's dying. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Good lord, this video was a mess to put together, so please like, comment, subscribe if you wanna support, because I don't make any money off my videos. Fucking memberships, coffee. My next video will hopefully be better than this. This video is a mess. This is my second, maybe third time recording this script again, and it's more concise. I'll say that much. It's more concise than the original recording, but my goodness gracious, it's late. Man, bye.
I don't believe in dinosaurs, but I know ghosts are real. There's a ghost in my home, but it's better than being alone. Reading bed with